Hi, my name is Tessmann, and today I'm going to show you some of the tools I use that aren't RC specific, but that I find work really well. First off, I'm going to show you the throttle return spring I use. These little rubber bands that are made for braiding horsehair. You can buy them in like packs of a couple hundred for super cheap. They last really good with the heat, and if you get fuel on them, they don't just break. They're super durable, I find. And I just use one and just clip it on the ball of the carburetor and hook it to the needle. That's what I've been using these for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years already, and have had really no issues. I do replace them probably every couple months, and they work great, so that's the first one. I also use, actually got showed this quite a while ago. We were at the Nationals in Colorado, and some guy showed me that he uses for gluing his tires. They're inner tubes for dirt bike and street bikes, depending on how big the tire is. You can get either one. Usually like a dirt bike shop or something will have a bunch of tubes that have a hole in them. At least for me anyway, I went to my local shop and they just gave me a tire tube that had a hole in it, and you can get a lot of rubber bands out of it. You just kind of cut them to the right width that you want, for depending on the thickness of the rubber or how big the tire is. You cut them to the right width so you get the right tension on it. But they just like you just cut. I do on mine. It's a little over a 1/4 inch wide, and this is good for 10 scale tires. And then I'll have the 8 scale tires will be a little bit bigger, and then we'll cut them to the right width to be the right tension on them. So those work great. They're super cheap, and then if you get glue on them, they don't break, so they're super durable, and you won't have rubber bands shooting off your tires when you're trying to glue your tires. So another thing we use is pipe cleaners, and they work good for if you have like a new steel part that has oil in it or something. Before you want to Loctite it, I'll put a little mortar spray on the pipe cleaner and run it through the hole to clean it out. Also for CVD barrels and the dog bone, where it all goes in there just to clean it. It gets through to the small areas good. And for when you're building your diffs, when you get diff oil in the holes, like for the screw holes, to get that clean out, they work good for that. One of my buddies that I practice with all the time here, Bruce, he showed me this trick actually. It's get a cheap dart from like a game store, and then you take the end off, and it's a nice compact little pick to dig out screws. So it lasts a long time. I mean, this one I haven't sharpened yet, but if it ever does go dull, you can just resharpen it. It just makes a nice little picker for the bottom of the car to get the screws clean. Just makes it really easy instead of using a knife or something else. You always have that in your toolbox. It's just really handy. So with all the 10 scale tires now, or the 10 scale tracks, I should say, being mainly on slick tires, we made ourselves a tire sander out of we got a pretty stiff putty knife, just so it doesn't flex too much when you're sanding your tires. And then around here we can't really get super coarse sandpaper, so what we did is we got a belt from a belt sander, 40 grit, and it's quite a bit thicker than normal sandpaper, so it takes the heat better. And then I'll just cut a bigger piece, put some contact cement on it, both sides, and then stick it on and then trim around the outside, and it lasts. I mean, this is the original one, and it's been going strong, hasn't burned through on it, so it's kind of it's a cheap way to do it and pretty effective. So the last one I want to show you is the Microfiber Towel. What I do is just wait, kind of just keep an eye on like the hardware stores, and whenever it's on sale, I get a bunch of them, and then just for racing, it just cleans. It's a lot better to clean your car with. I use it pretty much for everything but draining diffs on, like gluing tires to just cleaning stuff with, like, just spray a little WD-40 on it just to shine up your plastics. Eventually they get dirty enough to where, or oily enough that you can kind of use it to clean your car off and make it shiny again. But I'll usually start with it to clean tires, like to glue, and then once I use it for that a little bit, then I'll kind of transition it down to using it for more dirty parts, like cleaning CVDs or just dirt in general out of like the engine compartment. And then eventually they get too dirty, but they are cheap enough so that it's a really good effective way to keep your stuff looking nice and have your pits tidy. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.